Okay, another day. It's getting warmer out. Putting some of the sheathing on. I just did this piece. This is my test piece. Worked out okay. Down here, this is what I was talking about earlier about the flashing. I took some of this window flashing tape. I tapered the concrete, but then I put this flashing as an extra barrier so to prevent any wicking. I'm also going to keep my sheathing about a ½ inch off the concrete. So that should provide ample protection. Okay, in this clip, I'm getting the sheathing on the walls. And if you watch, you can see what I'm doing is I'm putting full sheets up and then cutting out for the windows. This is a lot more efficient than to try to measure out and cut the OSB boards on the sawhorses. It's just easier to nail up the boards covering your opening, then come back, and then what I did was I would just mark with either level and combination of level and a chalk line, and then you just snap a line, and then if you set your circular saw just a hair deeper than the thickness of the OSB, you can cut right along and take out the section that you're trying to remove for the window. Just much more efficient than measuring and cutting the holes out ahead of time. It has something to do with the shear value of the walls better if you keep the sheets, the larger sheets intact. Definitely, if I was to do it again, I'd get somebody to help me, because swinging the sheets around in the wind, if you look in the background, you can see the tarp blowing on the wood pile there. It was pretty breezy that day, but I got it all done, didn't blow away, so it came out pretty good. Okay, this is how far I got done yesterday. Some of the house wrap on. I didn't do this section because I wanted to do something to cap the end of this plywood. So I went over to the store and they had some aluminum J-channel, and I ripped the edge off of it. And then this is going to fit nicely and cap the edge. So I'm going to caulk this and cap the edge of that plywood, just so nothing's exposed. If I would have thought about that earlier, I probably could have just snapped it on before I put the sheathing on, but I didn't, so I will make it fit after. I'm going to do the same thing on this side so that this edge of the plywood doesn't gain exposure to any moisture or anything. So I'm going to run a bead of caulk first, then I'm going to put the aluminum J-channel over there, then I'll finish with the house wrap. Windows should be going in later today. Okay, on this section here, I'm installing the flashing tape to go around the windows. So what you do is you put this stuff on first on the bottom. You always work from the bottom going to the top. You have to think, if water was going to hit the wall up high, what you have to do to keep the water from coming in. So you want to put your upper layers should overlap the lower layers. So as you can see, I capped off the bottom first. I'm doing the sills, and then I go up about 6 inches on either side, and then I have that little cut out in the corner that I cut that little piece to add for the triangle. And then later you'll see I'll have more flashing around the entire window opening, over the window flanges also. Okay, here's where we're at today. Yesterday I had a couple friends come over and we popped all the windows in. Forgot to turn the camera on. There was a lot of action, so while the help was here, I took advantage of it. We ended up getting the windows and the doors in. So today, it's the next day. I did a little bit of weather strip taping yesterday. Doing a little bit more today. I just ran out of tape, so I'm gonna have to go buy some more of that. And then I got my siding, at least some of it, to start out this morning. Want to figure out how that goes on. So I've got to get some more tape. You can see we've got our windows, we got the door in. This door is actually all taped down ready to go. Future video, I guess, we'll be doing, I have to mortar in this joint underneath this door here. As you can see, it's about 1 inch gap. It's accounting for the fall that the patio had. I kind of planned for that, knew that was going to happen. So I'll pick up some more tape and get this wrapped up and then start on the siding. So we're at the start of the 3rd weekend on this project. I got a lot done the first 2 weekends. We've got it all framed, windows installed, house wrap on, everything is weather taped. I started putting on the siding a little bit each day after work, when, you know, about an hour before it would get dark. I come out here and mess around a little bit on it. I got the corner posts on. I have the J's done. That took a little bit of a learning curve. I wasted a piece of J or so just learning. I had to go on YouTube and watch a couple guys give a lesson on how to do it, because you have to miter these corners and make, you know, special cuts. But I got it figured out now. I have one more door on the other side to do left, and then I can start putting the actual siding panels on. I put one up here just to see how it went. Seems pretty straightforward, so we're gonna get started on that today. Okay, in this section here, this is the last door that I have to add the J channel around. So I got a couple leftover pieces of J I needed to get, and here, you know, I'm doing all the little fancy miter cuts. You work on the vertical parts first, get the 2 verticals up, and then you will measure and cut for your top piece, and then it all goes together like that. Basically, the J channel is what allows the siding have something to hook into. So you have to have J's channel, you know, on all around the, wherever it meets against the house, around all the windows and around all the doors, and then also up top where it's meeting up with that other part of the siding. Okay, all the exterior is done. Windows are in, doors are in, frame caps are on, J channel, and the siding. This was my first time ever installing vinyl siding. There was a bit of a learning curve here. I didn't video much because it's kind of repetitive. Once you figure out the cuts to get these corners were a little tricky, but I got it figured out fairly tight enough for my use here. I have my boxes up there for future lighting. Same thing, box down there for a future outlet. If you come around this side, looks pretty good. Do a walk around onto the other side. I just finished up putting the last piece on, the very top piece. Got that on up top there. It came out really nice. I have to clean up all the mess. This is the inside. I have my saw set up still in here. Overall, I'm very happy with how it came out. So I'll be updating you on future portions of this project, but for right now I'm going to call the exterior complete. Once I caulk around the doors a little bit, it'll all be done. Inside here, look out for future videos of what I'm doing is for the ceiling in here. I'm going to take this vinyl down and possibly vault the ceiling up, and the ash that I'm milling right now on the sawmill will be going into this room. So I had enough buying $7 2x4s and buying all the materials for this. So for the rest of this project, I'm going to use all my own stuff that I mill in the sawmill. So look out for those videos, and thanks for watching.